Alright, good evening everyone, and welcome to Green White Checkered TV. Tonight we have the Area 51 Superspeedway Series season finale here at Talladega Superspeedway. 75 laps, I should say, is the race distance tonight. As you see right now, track temperature, say not looking too bad, 66 degrees, 71 track temperature, so not, I don't think that's going to be any issue for these drivers tonight, but I think what everybody's going to be watching for tonight is going to be the points battle going into tonight's finale. As we'll pull up our standings going into it, you see right there, Gabe Butler 20-point lead over Dean Wilkinson. Todd Siebel's only 4 points out. At this point, I think it's going to be a 3-horse race between the two of them. But of course, Dean and Todd are going to definitely have some ground to make up over Gabe. And we do have a pretty decent field here tonight. And say it looks like it's in the low mid 20s. So a lot of cars will be taking part in this one. That could always play a role in this one as well. So we'll be keeping an eye and see how that one shakes out. But yeah, I mean, these guys have been having an amazing season for Dean, for Todd, and of course for Gabe. I mean, you can see right there the 3 wins, 10 top 5s, 10 top 10s. I say he just needs to kind of put it all together here tonight and be able to try to pull this one off. He's won the first 2 races of the playoffs. Dean getting the win last week. And now, say we got our finale here tonight at Talladega. So drivers putting down their qualifying laps right now. And we will get this underway here in just a little bit. So the other thing to mention, of course, as well, and say I haven't done a good job of advertising, and apologies on my side for that one. But we've also got some other another prize going on here as well with this season, which is the driver with the least amount of incident points per race. And it's pretty much a 3-driver race as well here. It's going to be between Dean Wilkinson, Todd Siebel, and again Gabe Butler. Right now the edge is going to go to Dean Wilkinson on the incident points with 28 over the course of these races that we've had, the 11 races. 32 for Dean, 28 for Dean, 32 for Todd, and 36 for Gabe Butler. So that's going to be the other thing to keep an eye on, because whichever of those drivers basically has the least incident points per lap average, that will be our clean driver of the season, which puts $40 into their pocket as well. So as I mentioned right now, the race info here once again is qualifying continues on at the moment. But again, really want to thank you all for joining us here tonight. It's kind of crazy that it's already been a full season. Let's say this is the last of the races for this season. We've already crowned champions on Tuesday and Thursday. So now we've got our Sunday series to finish up here as well. So qualifying just about complete, about a minute left. And then we will go over our starting grid for tonight. Alright, that will complete qualifying for tonight. So now we need to pull up our starting grid for tonight's event. And pole position is going to go to the number 1 of Gabe Butler by 0.02 of a second over Dean Wilkinson. You got Jack Walls there in 3rd, Eric Laurie 4th, Tom Pritchard in 5th. In 6th, Paul Sheldon, Quaby Brooks, Keith Horner, Rob Malone, and Charles Johnson rounding out our top 10. And then you see 11th, 12th, you got Michael Spell, Vicente Guerrero. I will continue through the grid here. You've got also in 13th position, Cody Niegels, Raymond Rittenauer, Joseph Morales, Donald Stewart, Jim Brooks, James Hickson, Todd Siebel, Dave Thatcher, Robert DuPont, and Michael Taylor will be the 22 drivers taking part in tonight's event. But right off the bat, though, that all-critical pole position, it's going to go to that number 1 of Gabe Butler. Getting the pole, getting the bonus point, more importantly, And that's again going to bump that number from now 20 points going into tonight to a 21-point lead over Dean Wilkinson. That being said, though, a great job, though, Dean, with that second place position. And we mentioned the other driver in the championship hunt, kind of doing what he's been doing all season long. Todd Siebels opted not to put down a qualifying lap, so that's going to put him in that opportunity to maybe gain the highest climber position from that 19th starting position here tonight. So say waiting for all the drivers here to take the grid, and we'll get things underway. You see all the drivers there. Just got a couple cars waiting to pop in, and then we will get things underway. And I think we've just had that happen now. So again, our three championship competitors, you see the top two in the front row right there, the 1 and the 55. Again, that's going to be Gabe Butler and Dean Wilkinson. And then the other will be the 45 of Todd Siebels, opting to start towards the back here tonight, not putting down a qualifying lap. So it's going to be a lot of fun to see what this one's going to have in store for us tonight. Also, apologies for those that are probably trying to watch or also watching the NASCAR race at Darlington, and say when the schedule set up didn't realize that this was going to conflict with that one. So I say obviously no spoilers coming from my end, so say only going to be focusing on our race at hand here tonight. And also got to thank the drivers too. Again, I mean, 22 drivers still taking part in this one. I'm sure a lot of them probably wanted to be able to, or might be wanting to watch that race as well. So hopefully they'll be able to take a be able to watch this one afterwards as well. So yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun here tonight. But like I said, all eyes going to be on those three drivers, the 1, the 55, the 45. Like I said, the 1's got now a 21-point advantage going into tonight over that 55. So, I mean, if you're Gabe, you're feeling pretty good. I think what you want to do here first is get that lap led if you can early, get it out of the way, get it off your mind, and then from there just kind of see how the race unfolds. So, again, the other thing for him is the biggest thing, I think, too, is if you can try to have a clean race car at the end of this one, get those 3 bonus points for having no incident points. So we'll have to wait and see here as we're going to come around through turn number 4. Fuel window, pretty much typical stuff here. It's going to be in that low 20 mark. I'll say my numbers were way off last week at iRacing Superspeedway. Apologies on that one. I forgot about the speed and the length of that track dropping it from into that low 20 mark into about the teens. About 16, 17 laps, I think, was the fuel window roughly there as well. So that being said, though, we see the pace car is just about to duck off into pit road. You see all the pit boards are ready to go for their drivers tonight. That's going to put it into the hands of that 1 and the 55. Once we get that green flag, we will be underway here tonight. Again, you got Jack Walls, Eric Laurie in that second row as well. So for Eric, though, not behind his teammates, so we'll see if they can find the way to get together as green flag flies, and we are underway here tonight at Talladega for our season finale. I'll say so far so good. Pretty easy start between them. As you can see, I think everybody just trying to get situated here, trying to find where they need to be. Obviously, not a lot of aggressive pushing as the VAC1 down on the apron, probably trying to roll towards the back here. But at the moment, it looks like 55 has just a small edge there of Dean Wilkinson over Gabe Butler. But you see through the turn here goes the 1 car is going to get the propulsion here off the back into 3. Get that short, kind of shorter end of the turn as well, say a little less distance to have to travel, especially while building up speed. But now this is where the outside line really starts to build up their momentum and their speed. It looks like it's going to be a drag race across the line to see who leads lap number 1. And I believe it's Gabe Butler by probably hundredths, if not thousands of a second. And say we'll see what Gabe does. Is he opt to try to stay up front and just keep controlling this one? Or does he maybe try to start playing prevention, roll to the back a little bit? So we'll have to keep an eye and see. I think also it'll be very telltale just based on what we see. If we do see someone drop to the back, that might tell us, okay, yeah, they've been able to do what they needed to do. However, right now, early on, you see everybody's staying double file. Don't see a lot of big moves trying to make that third line happen yet. I do think we will see it, but I think we're not quite there yet. The one driver I'm a little nervous about right now is right here, this 83 of Rob Malone in that Caterpillar car needs to try to get back up into this pack here. However, we're going to watch this lap at the line. You see easily Dean Wilkinson able to get that lap led. So again, that's going to put them, I believe, back even here with both those drivers getting that lap led. So that I mentioned those bonus points, of course, always going to be crucial. But right now, say Dean getting that lap led clearly in the 55. So that'll put him, I believe, on even bonus points right now of the one car with the one, I believe, leading lap number 1. Of course, the other options these drivers are going to be having here as the run progresses is having that opportunity to run that third line, of course, also saving fuel. So that's going to be watching these drivers that are on this inside line, probably from about the 21 of Tom Pritchard here, the 53 of Bobby Brooks, the 88 Michael Spell. They're in a really good fuel saving position here. They're on the inside line. They didn't have to really push too hard in these initial laps, so maybe able to save a couple of laps here and fuel right off the bat here. But again, you see Dean Wilkinson getting a nice push here from Eric Laurie. But you guys just haven't been able to separate from one another. And I say we talked about someone maybe trying to make that topside happen. Here we go. It's going to be that 9 of Charles Johnson. Always one that's going to be one to kind of try to make that top line happen. Doesn't have anybody going with him as of yet. But we'll see if he can get any help here as this run progresses. He had to duck back in line, just unfortunately wasn't able to make anything happen there. Didn't get any friends as Dean Wilkinson just somehow barely squeezes in front of that one of Gabe Butler. So I'll move Dean now to the inside line. But now I'm going to be watching for Gabe Butler. Does he jump up to his teammate of Eric Laurie? Maybe try to get that push on that second groove here. So I'll have to watch. But right now that second line is not making a big charge forward as of yet. Eric's got the 56 of Paul Sheldon right behind him. But I think if we see that line start to make that big momentum forward, I would watch that one car, see if he jumps up and tries to get maybe himself and Eric cleared of that 55. Or maybe if you're Gabe right now, feeling pretty good about where you are in this pack here, being up in this front group. Actually, surprising here, you see Dean, he's going to jump straight to the third line. Actually, looks like he's going to be opting, he's going to drop now back to the back and just maybe try to play it a little bit safe here. As I thought at this point, maybe he was going to go to try to lead the most laps in this race. He's going to squeeze in right there in front of the 73 car, I believe that was. Actually, I'm sorry, I believe it was a 37 car. And then right behind, who's that in front? I forget, 37 behind. And then I believe that might be the 78. Yeah, Donald Stewart in front of him. So grabs the spot. Oh, we see a big move from Eric Laurie. Almost had a moment there right in front of Gabe Butler. And I see, you see Quappy Brooks. He has a moment as well on the apron here, trying to keep it down there. Is just going to get it watched. We see Michael Spell gave him plenty of room to try to get the car recovered. Raymond Rittenauer as well. Great reaction from those guys. That could have been a very bad moment for a lot of them. So we stay green here and say they'll be able to get back to the group here. That's going to be no problem there, but definitely a touch and go moment there for these guys up front. So I'll jump back up front because say with that all going on, say that little bit of a momentum shift, that's allowed Paul Sheldon now. He's made a big charge up towards this front now with that 9 of Charles Johnson behind him. That 14 of Vicente Guerrero's right there as well. That 78 we just mentioned as well of Donald Stewart. So right now, say they're trying to see if they can find their way towards the front. But right now, it's been Eric Laurie leading this one after getting kind of clearing that one car. As again, we saw surprisingly, I didn't expect at least to see Dean Wilkinson kind of opt to drop towards the back a little bit here, but maybe trying to go with a fuel strategy. We'll have to keep an eye to see exactly how it's gonna play out for him. Say maybe wanting to get those couple laps in early and then from there just kind of cruise. As you also see now, Charles Johnson, he's jumped to that third line. Not sure if he's trying to roll out of it or if he's just trying to see if he can make that third line happen. But he's going to still go straight back here as well. So I'm also wondering, we haven't really talked about water temps, oil temps, but maybe these temperatures might be getting higher and quicker than these drivers are expecting. So maybe these drivers having to kind of be on edge and make sure that they don't get those cars too hot here. You can see Charles does drop back into line, but right now that inside line with all that movement, this has really been working really well here for this inside line. So right now, again, Eric Laurie, Gabe Butler leading the inside line. Jack Walls hasn't really shown too much aggression here. Might be trying to say Jack's one of the better fuel savers in the league as well. Maybe Jack trying to do a little bit of strategizing here to see if he can maybe do some extra fuel saving, stretch out a little bit further. Maybe somehow find a way to pull a two-stopper. I don't see it happening, but we've seen crazier things before, and also it could also just allow for that final stop to be a very, very quick splash of fuel. So right now we'll run through the field a little bit, so kind of bounce around for some of the higher climbers of the race. The first of those is this 12th car of James Hickson right now running in that outside groove here. So I was going to say the second car in group, but now it's going to be the third car on the outside line. Is now the 55. He said, you know what, let's get back up towards the front. He's going to jump back up top here. Say James Hickson, though, so far he's climbed 10 spots. Dave Thatcher in the 420 car on the inside line, he is right around the same number there as well. 10 spots gained so far in this one. So yeah, so say right now those are two of our highest climbers at the moment. Donald Stewart in the 78, he's gained 2 positions. He's in that black and white car behind that 14 of Vicente Guerrero, that white and orange car. He's gained 7 spots as things run at the moment. But right now, though, say here comes Dean Wilkinson. They went to the top, decided to roll back, but now he's ready to move his way back forward here again. And he's got some good help from that 56 of Paul Sheldon. So you'll see a little further back, you got Charles Johnson. He's got some help behind him. So I can't quite tell which car that is. That is Michael Taylor in the 16 car. So say Michael now trying to be the pusher in that third line, so they didn't push themselves towards the front. As actually last time by, Michael Taylor, fastest car on the track. So say that third line is moving here, but now it's all about trying to make sure that you can keep those temperatures under control. They see Michael Spell. He's popped up top as well. He wants to join that party up front as well. As here goes Dean Wilkinson. A great push down off of 2 down the backstretch here. And he is going to clear Eric Laurie and take the point back once again. So I say, kind of again, surprised to see see Dean drop back like he did and then now charge back forward again. But goes to show that he will have the ability to make some moves later on in the race should he need to. As right now we're on lap number 12 of 75, so just about a little over halfway through the fuel window here. Again, probably suspect we'll see drivers in about the next 10 or so laps would be about when the window would start to open. But now, this is where I start to get a little nervous here. If you're that number 1 car, Gabe Butler, you see you're in the middle of a 3-wide battle here. Now you got the 9, the 55, and the 56 all side by side up front here. So I'm going to be watching the 1 car a little bit off the corner of my eye. Does he stay in this group? Does he feel comfortable with where he is? Or do we see him at some point drop towards the back here just to be played a little bit extra safe right now? Right now, so you can see though, up front though, we got these guys running 3 by 3 here for about 4 rows deep, it looks like. So yeah, so say if there's a track you can do that, Talladega is definitely one to do so at. That time by, it's the Paul Sheldon. He gets the point. He's going to drop now down to the inside line. And that's going to now let Vicente Guerrero, he's going to lead that middle group. Still Charles Johnson up top with the 16. Michael Taylor, they're starting to lose a little bit of ground here. Say maybe those temps again, maybe having to give himself a little bit of separation, get some breathing room in those cars. But right now, let's say these guys still again continue to run 3 by 3 here up front. But now you see Charles there gets a great push down the back, gets right back level with these guys entering turn number 3. So now it's to try to hold that momentum here through the turn and then out of 4. But you can see right now that 56 car getting a great push from that 55 here on the inside line. As you start seeing drivers starting to kind of fan out just a little bit, trying to keep some air on the nose of those cars to try to cool them off a little bit from what I'm seeing here. Oh, you see Paul Sheldon just touched the apron a little bit there. You see also the 55 had a little bit of a reaction there as well. That's going to allow the 14. Now he's going to pull a little bit further ahead here. He's going to clear the 56 without any troubles now. So now he's going to take the lead on the inside row. You see that allowed Charles Johnson, actually, he's going to make the top to bottom, basically the elevator drop there. He's going to take the point in that 9 car. So great pushing from that 16 of Michael Taylor. So I'll say that's going to be someone that a lot of these drivers are going to definitely need to keep an eye on later in this race, to have that good pusher behind you if you want to try to have a chance at these races. So right now, it's getting a little dicey up front again. So I still see a little bit of movement. Now you got Tom Pritchard in that 21 car pushing that 78 car of Donald Stewart here on the outside line. The 14 and the 9 locked on with each other on the inside row. And then the 56, but I say that unfortunate outside line starting to fall apart just a little bit here, with that 16 and the 88 being the only 2 up there. But as soon as I say that, I believe that is that's Cody Neagles in the 18 car. He's opted to jump to the top side here, see if he can maybe be a little bit of a leader on this outside line to find a way to push on forward here. And again, on the opposite side of the championship battle here, the 45 Todd Siebels. He's kind of running in a nice little pocket here, a little comfort zone, if you will. Kind of in the mid-pack, but you can see pretty much single file, maybe a little bit of double file still here and there with the 83 car to his outside. But is in I feel like, a pretty comfortable spot here. He's got, I believe that's James Hickson right behind him. Again, we just mentioned Jack Walls earlier. He's right there in front of him. So not in the middle of that 3-wide mess that we've been seeing up front here. And also the same thing goes for the 1 in Gabe Butler. He's rolled back a little bit here. He's got his teammate in front of him of Eric Laurie. But the other driver we're going to be watching for that group to say they're going to need all the help they can get, because right now it's just the 3 of them tonight. That's going to be the 87 of Raymond Rittenau. Right now Raymond just kind of in cruise control behind the 53 car. So I would say the next question will be when do we see that 50 or the 87 try to lock on with that 071 and the 1? Because I say those guys are pretty spot on when they have their pit strategies up front with each other. So, but right now though, you see the 14. He's now still leading now with the 9 behind him. 78-21, they are locked on in that middle groove. I say right now, but that's gonna be the thing. Now it's gonna get to about this point now. Drivers are gonna start having to think about when and where do they try to find their way to get to the inside here, because of course pit stops looming here in probably just another 3, 4, or 5 laps or so, depending on how much fuel they've saved over the course of this fuel run. You see one peeling off. Looks like a couple peeling off here. You're going to have the 1 car of Gabe Butler. You're going to have the 07 Eric Laurie, Raymond Rittenauer, and also bringing along Jack Walls here. Saying Jack could be kind of the one that could be kind of the dark horse, if you will. If he can work with these guys, maybe that'll help their speed a little bit. So right now it's going to be all about that in-lap and the out-lap for these guys. And of course making sure they hit their pit stalls. You see so far so good. Don't see any reversing going on. And I think, yeah, so we should see Ray roll out first, as he had a much earlier pit stall. And you see here, there goes the 1, the 22, and the 071. Looks like they're going to come out very nicely with one another. That's goal number 1 here, but now we're going to jump back to the lead pack behind, because they will stand the lead lap, but now it's all about the reaction. Do we see anybody jump in response? And we do. Here comes Charles Johnson. Michael Spells coming in along as well, the 53 of Quabi Brooks. So I'd say we're seeing about 5 drivers, it looks like here. Joseph Morales is also in, Jim Brooks as well. So we got 5 drivers here reacting to those guys pitting at lap number 19, now pitting on lap number 20. But we still got about 13 drivers yet to make their first stop of the race here. And again, just at this point, it's kind of strategy here. How far do you want to go? And for these guys on the outside line, of course, it's going to be how far can you go is going to be the next question as well. So you can see here comes the 953. They come out nicely together. That's going to help them build speed quickly. Let's say, because again, while they're doing this up front, it's Gabe Butler who's been leading this group behind them with Jack Walls right there, the 071 Eric Laurie. So that's their next goal, is to try to chase these guys back down and try to see if they can gain that track position basically over the pit stop cycle. However, pit stops up front here, we got a bunch of them in. We got Paul Sheldon, Dean Wilkinson, Rob Malone, Todd Siebels, Dave Thatcher, Michael Taylor, James Hickson, and Robert DuPont. All these drivers hitting their first pit stops as well. That leaves now 5 drivers yet to pit. And I think you see those 2 again on the outside line. I think at this point they have to get down here. They need to find a way to make this pit stop happen together. So I don't think there's going to be too many drivers that can go many more laps the way this pace is going. And you see right there, you see a little bit of an opening being made for that 21. So I think we're going to see our last set of pit stops right here, as we'll watch here coming out of turn number 4. And that's going to bring, yep, here comes the remaining 5. So basically a 3-lap window here between the first drivers and the last drivers pitting. And it looks like so far so good. Everybody's able to give themselves space, and it just shows how much practice has been going into this. So now we'll jump around here, because I believe once pit stops cycle through, it's going to go back to now the one of Gabe Butler. He's going to take over the point, and he's got some help behind now. He's got Eric Laurie. He's got Raymond Rittenauer. That couldn't have worked out any better for these guys. Say now we know for sure, obviously. Say if they stay like they are here, Gabe should be able to get a lap lead if he didn't already, which we're pretty sure he did. But yeah, so say a great start for him to on this run. You see now it's going to bring Jack Walls and Charles Johnson right into the mix here in this top 5. Alright, so out of turn number 2, here comes the 1 car, here comes the 14 and the 78 building up speed, but it's not going to be enough. That one is going to go swing right on by them, so he's going to take the official lead of this race. You see the top 5 swinging on right by those guys, building up speed, but separation-wise, everybody's holding pretty steady here. Not a lot of drivers losing the draft right now. We'll go through and kind of show where everybody's split up here once we get everybody built speed back up. But you can see right now in the lead pack here, we've got about the 78 in this first pack. But then you see right behind, easily the 45 is going to be able to grab back on as well, all the way to Dave Thatcher. And then a little further back here, you've got Michael Taylor, you've got James Hickson, you got Robert DuPont trying to tag back on as well. The drivers I'm a little nervous about here are Keith Horner. He is losing the draft, I think, as they run. And the 2 that are really in big trouble, the 18 and 21, Cody Neagles, Tom Pritchard. They are out of the draft, just the 2 of them together. So we're going to jump back up front here, though, and say he's able to drag in my partner in crime here, able to help me out with these last couple of races. Matt, always a pleasure to have you with me in these races. It's been a lot of fun. Say so far so good. They've been keeping it clean and green. And say we've seen a little bit of everything from our championship competitors. We saw the 1 get the pole. We've seen the 55. He's led some laps. And we see the 45 now actually making a charge with help from that 55, trying to get back to the front of this field.
Well, it's a big game changer if Gabe took the pole and get the bonus points. The margin was 20 points, if I'm correct,
yep.
Going in today's race?
Yeah, exactly right. 20 points, and so with that pole, that puts it to that 21 mark. And as saying again, I mean, it's gonna take a lot at this point for Dean or for Todd to try to be able to jump him from that top spot. But we've seen crazier things happen in these races and in these championships. So, but right now, say Gabe is doing what he needs to do. Say he hit his first pit stop perfectly. He, Eric, Raymond, and Jack Walls all pitted together and just were spot on with their pit stops. So that's got them out in the top 4 positions here. So. And the nice part is for Gabe is he's been able to get a couple of laps led under his belt here with kind of a little to no drama, if you will, whereas say business about to be picking up, because you see here comes Todd Siebels working with Dean Wilkinson, really picking up some steam here out of turn 2.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Does fastest lap count as bonus points in this series, just like the Indy?
I believe Indy's got a separate point system, because I did that too. As you see here comes Todd Siebels. He's going to take the point there, drop to the inside. The 55 though, trying to carry the momentum around to see if he can get right back to the point. He's got Quabi Brooks with him. I think for here with the Thursday and the Sunday series, I want to say the points, obviously the pole for the bonus for the pole, bonus for leading a lap, leading the most laps, and then I believe the highest climber is also a bonus point, which Indy does not have. I think that kind of replaces the fastest lap of the race, if I'm not mistaken, which, as we all know, is very possible to be happening.
You know what, we need to have a shot at this for the most bonus points. He's going to have Quabi push him all the way up front. But
yeah,
unfortunately, Michael Spell is going to ruin that party. They're all the way to the third lane on the outside.
Yeah, we've seen Dean do this earlier where he went to the top, dropped back, but then he made another charge later on in the run. But however, the one driver that has gotten to the front now is that 45 of Todd Siebels. So again, we talked about him maybe looking at that highest climber bonus point. So right now, as he runs here, he is 18 positions gained from his starting spot. So obviously getting a lap lead here in that 45 car, also of course getting a bonus point for that. But then right now in that position for the highest climber bonus point as well. But I think the biggest one, Matt, for these guys is to try to be incident-free, 0 incident points throughout the course of this race to get that ever critical. I believe it's either 2 or 3 bonus points. I think that's going to be really the big one here. As you can see, there goes Gabe, gets a good run off of 2. He's got help from Eric Laurie right behind him, and they're going to try to get back to the point here. Maybe, like you said, maybe looking to try and get that most bonus point lead taken care of here early on.
Yeah, it's 2 points. It's the league. That bonus point really does add up toward the end of the season.
Yeah, I mean, bonus points are crucial in this league. I mean, like we've talked about week in and week out. I mean, it can be a bonus point makes the difference of who wins the championship, who makes it into the playoffs. I mean, we've seen it throughout the course of these seasons with Area 51. So I think Gabe knows that. I think Eric knows that. And I think that's also why we saw right there Todd Siebels trying to push up there as well to get back to the front. So I'd say right now, again, let's say that the group's a little smaller than what they've had in previous races. So right now, like I said, it's pretty much the 3 of them, the 1, the 07, and the 87. But like I said, that first pit stop, they pretty much hit to perfection. So they've got to still do plenty more. Because, I mean, we're only on 28 of 75, not even halfway here. So still a lot of racing left to be done. Still 2 pit stops left to be done as well. As you can see right now, Eric just holding on in front of that 45 car.
Yeah, very nice, tight, organized. Very on the bottom, and I'm watching the top lane. It's in order to take the lead from Gabe, you got guys going to have to be more organized.
Yeah, so yep, you're right. So they gotta try to hold, almost be kind of running the same line. And of course, it's not even just the first car, the second car, that third car. He plays a big role as well, which right now is Paul Sheldon. The closer Paul can get to Michael, the better that can go. Oh, you see there, Michael though gave a big shot to Jack there. Definitely got him out of his place a little bit of a wiggle there down the back. So again, though, I think with that's kind of separated the 2 of them, slows them down just that little bit. And you can see it's allowed that 1 and the 071 to stretch their legs just that little bit here for another lap or so.
As soon as I said that top lane is really starting to form now.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, that's what it's all about. Is you gotta get the right push at the right time. And like I said, Jack Wall's trying to work his way now towards the front. Can't quite clear the one here entering turn number 1. But I'd say this is kind of, you're getting to about now where this is going to be the best opportunity for the outside line. Coming out of 2, you keep that momentum kind of wound up on that middle groove here, whereas the inside line has to pinch a little bit. But you can see, again, just great pushing, though, from Eric Laurie. That's really been, I think, right now being the difference maker, I think, on keeping Gabe, at the front. So I'd say Eric doing all he can, of course, to try to help his teammate get this championship tonight. And that's the thing, is that's what we talk about week in and week out, the unselfishness of a lot of these racers here. I think we'll see the same thing as well. We saw it last week with Dave Fletcher working with Dean Wilkinson. Basically, there was no thoughts of Dave trying to snatch that win from Dean, because it was, again, if he can help his teammate get in a better spot for that title, that's what he wanted to do. So, as see, here comes that third lane, though, starting to form here. Now you got Paul Sheldon now jumping to the top, and he's got, again, that 55, though, of Dean Wilkinson, Quabi Brooks joining in as well. So we'll see if they can make that third line start to push forward here.
Yeah, Mr. Wilkinson, I know it's like to have 20 points and come up pretty short in any series last Tuesday night, but No fuel mileage here. I think these guys are good to go in the end.
Yeah, so there won't be. I don't think there's going to be any fuel strategies here unless the yellow comes out and shakes things up. But I think as they run, everybody's going to still have 2 stops to make left in this race. Again, right now, lead pack still has 18 cars in it. Right now, Robert DuPont just kind of cruising here in that 07 car, keeping himself in a safe position. Unfortunately, those 3 that lost the draft, though, include Tom Pritchard in that 21, Keith Horner, and Cody Niegels in the 18 car. So those 3 are off about about 2.5 seconds right now. We're going to jump back up front because there you see Jack Walls will say, of course, while I look at it, Jack was able to clear that 1 car, and he's going to take the point.
Yeah, business is starting to pick up on the outside lane. I think Dean Wilkinson is starting to run out of patience. He wants to lead all them laps. He needs to get up there. He knows what he needs to do.
Yeah, this is kind of a similar situation earlier in the race where I wondered if maybe we see the 1 drop a little bit back and just kind of play it safe here. But right now it looks like he's going to stay up with this group. And see, he's kind of, in a tight spot here, like you said. He's right behind the 22 car. He's got the 88 to his outside. And so so right now he's got to really hit his marks as now that 3rd line just kind of fizzles out here. So now it's going to be that 2nd line with the 88 and the 14. And see, the 53, the 9 car disappears for just a moment. Now he's back on track. That's always a concern, though, when you're in this close drafting range.
Yep, that's exactly what I just expected there. As soon as the hole came in there, I knew Gabe was trying to go ahead and snatch the lead right by the 22.
Yeah, it was a great job of doing that. Just able to hop out of 2, get the push from Michael, and then sneak back right in front of Jack entering 3. So just a great push from Michael there as well. But now Michael's getting the push from the 14 of Vicente Guerrero. See Michael's able to maybe try to get a lap led in that 88 car. Of course, for all these other drivers too. They're not thinking about championship points right now. They're thinking about wins here. Michael Spell, he wants to get a win here in the Super Speedway Series. He's definitely been in contention in some of these races. Just wants to try to put it all together. But like I said, there's still a lot of racing left to go in this one. As I said, 2 more pit stops as well left in this one, which is and that's going to bring us to the next point, Matt. That 2nd pit window probably coming up in about 5 or so laps to be when that window starts, maybe even a little sooner. Last time around, the leaders pitted in the range from lap 18 to lap 21. So if you go based on that, you would suspect you'd see the next set of pit stops around lap number 36 if they split it evenly. So we'll have to see if that's going to be the case here again, or maybe we see the 2nd run stretch just a little further in this middle portion of the race.
Yeah, I'm hearing a bunch of drivers queue up. Sorry about that. But anyway, Dean's got to figure out something. He knows that we saw that move right back there. You know now why Gabe is the guy to beat. He's the toughest guy to beat. Dean knows his mindset is try to lead all the laps. He knows what he needs to do. He's just stuck in a hard place. He doesn't know where to go.
Yeah, exactly right. As you see there, Jack gets the push from Michael back to the front. But look at that. As soon as the opportunity opened up there, you see the 071 and the 1 there. They were able to clear. They were cleared of the 88 of Michael Spell. So now they jump to the top side. And you see again, Eric, just a great push off the 1 car. They both get right back to the point. And you can see, that's showing right now the mindset of that 071 Eric Laurie. They want to be up front here. They want to control this race. And if they get the opportunity, they're going to make those moves and they're going to get right back to the front. So it just shows again how stout and how good of teamwork we're seeing from these 2 drivers right now. And we saw during the pit stops of Raymond Rittenauer, of course, as well. Don't count him out on this one. But right now on track though, that 071 and the 1. At this point, Matt, they've basically been driving as if they're just 1 car here.
It's just flat and amazing just watching Gabe and Eric Laurie the 2 of them speaking of that, they come down pit road.
Yep, here we come. This is that 2nd scheduled stop, and this is again right on the number. We talked about 1836. So this is on that scheduled position here. And again, looks like a nice clean entry. This time just the 3 of them. They don't bring Jack Walls along this time by. But now again, the next stop for them is to be able to hit their pit stalls, not overshoot it at all, and then try to get out of the pits with one another. So now we'll jump back to our race leader here for the moment, because now that's going to be Jack Walls leading Todd Siebels on that inside line. Do we see a response from this, or do maybe the drivers feel like, you know what, it's only the 3 of them, we can probably make more speed with a bigger group like this? and that could be a strategy call here up front. If they can make good lap times, Matt, this could be where they run a little bit longer and maybe put the other guys in a bad spot.
I probably expect him next time by. Maybe
Yeah,
not.
here they come. It's going to bring Jack Walls in the 60, Charles Johnson 51, Jim Brooks, Quabi Brooks all hitting pit road. Again, looks like they all got in. Looked like Quabi got real close to that pit cone, though, on entry. But I believe did not touch it. We'll have to wait and see if he has a pit penalty or not. Hopefully not for his case. But yeah, so right now that's going to leave now 10 drivers yet to make their first set of pit stop, or second set of pit stops, I'm sorry. And actually, I should say 13 because Keith Horner, Tom Pritchard, and Cody Neagles, they have yet to pit as well. So yeah, so we'll have to wait and see. But now it's, again, Todd Siebel's back out in front here. He's got Dean Wilkinson 2 cars behind him with Paul Sheldon in the middle here. So we'll keep an eye and see how this one's going to continue to unfold here. As again, some of these guys, they pitted 20 and 21, so they can go a little further should they choose to. I think at this point it's all about the lap times they're making. But, oh, you see here the 07 Robert DuPont pitting. But however, Matt, by himself here, that's never what you want to have at Daytona and Talladega.
It's just not a fun feeling. Being out there by yourself, with no friends.
Yeah, and you have to wonder if there's maybe some miscommunication where it's like, okay, are you pitting this time, next time? And then, yeah. But the thing for Robert is if he can hit his pit entry and exit well, he could still cycle in with those guys. So we're going to jump a little further back because you see here, there goes the Gabe Butler, Eric Laurie, and Raymond Rittenauer. They are working around now the outside of Jack Walls, and Joseph Morales, Quabi Brooks, and Charles Johnson. So they've been able to clear those guys. And you're going to see probably just a little further ahead of these guys. Oh, actually, no, Robert DuPont, I think. Oh, yeah, he's still in the pits. That's a pit stop and hold, I think, for him. So, unfortunately, he is now in a very tough position. He's going to be put down a lap with that in that number 07 car. So, but again, though, here as we cross halfway, 45, 56, 55, all these guys, they are running long here. And looking at the lap times, Matt, the strategy isn't working the way they would be hoping for. Right now, they're running 50-40s the last time by. Raymond, Gabe, and Eric right now running 50-10s, 50-09s. So even with the 3 of them, they're drafting so well with one another. They're actually gaining time on these guys who are staying out.
It may work a little bit with the lap car Jim Brooks coming up, but as I totally agree, they should pit. They're losing too much time. If I were them, I'd come in right now.
And they are listening. Here they all come. But this is where you get a little nervous because you have a lot of drivers here pitting all together. You got to make sure that you give everybody room on the entry. Somehow they make the traffic jam work, and it looks like they're going to all get into pit road cleanly. As they do need mention for Jim Brooks, it looks like, I'm not sure if it's a pit mistake or not. Oh, actually, I think we've had a car. Yeah, Tom Pritchard had a moment.
Tom Pritchard.
Yeah, so he's back out on track. I say he's rolling on the apron. I say he needs to stay low here. And that's going to allow us to stay green. That could have really changed the outcome of the way this race would be looking right now. However, he's able to grab a gear and get going again. So, let's say, unluckily for him, we stay green. But probably luckily for some of these other drivers, we do stay green. But right now we have Michael Taylor here, who I believe is just now coming out. Oh, no, actually, I think he may have ran it too far in field because that car is not at a lot of speed here. So we're going to jump back, though, because right now Todd Siebels is the first car coming out of pit road. So now we're being watching out the back, because that's what he's going to be doing here. He's going to be watching his mirror, seeing what he can do, and say, here comes the pack here with a huge head of steam. And I don't think he's going to be able to build that speed up and say, yeah, here goes Gabe, Eric, and Raymond, bringing along Jack Walls there. So that's going to be, again, these guys able to find their way back towards the front here, the 53 there, the 9 as well. However, Todd is going to rejoin these guys in this draft here. And that's the next thing, though, Matt. Again, these guys are going about 4 laps longer this time for Todd Siebels. So based on those numbers, if you're Todd Siebels, we got one more stop to go for all of our leaders here. Todd could basically, at this point in the race, I would suspect, he can basically put in 4 less laps of fuel than the one car. That last stop, I mean, that's usually the money stop, so maybe that's what these guys are thinking is that long run. All right, now once we get to that final pit stop time, should we stay green like we have been, that's the time to make that big move and try to run that low fuel number.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I do fuel only, no tires. Yeah, you gain so much time.
Yeah, I agree with you.
It's the only way we're going to beat Gabe. You got out smart him, buddy.
Yeah, exactly, Ryan. So I'm looking at the pit stops too. I think maybe a pit mistake by that 51 and Jim Brooks, who we've mentioned lost the draft there, because he had a 14-second pit stop, which usually entails that being a 4-tire and fuel stop. So, however, so here comes that outside line once again. This time you got Charles Johnson pushing the 53 of Quabi Brooks here. Let's say as they've worked their way up to about the outside of Raymond Rittenauer there in third. So we'll see if they can continue the charge here to this outside groove here off of turn number 2. I'll say again that 9 car pushing that 53 for all he is worth here. Worked up now to the 071 of Eric Laurie. But you see again Eric starting to pick up that aggression, starting to push on that 1 car as well. But you see Quabi now side by side with Gabe here entering 3.
Looking the 53's rear bumper looks like Jack been pushing it too much.
Yeah, I think he's had a little bit of...
Charles, I'm sorry.
Oh, you see right there, though, you see Charles, he had to jump to the top. I think that car got too hot in the 9, had to jump out because he needs to protect that motor. And there goes all the momentum from that inside groove. So let's say, and that's the thing is you can push, but for how long can you do it before you start to overheat? And we just saw that, I think, right there from the 9. Had to back out to make sure he doesn't overheat that car. And then, yeah, so right now, say with the lead pack here, we've got about 13 drivers, if I'm not mistaken, in the lead pack. Say Michael Spell, one of those in the 88 car, I think right now the last car in that lead pack. And you see a little further back here, you've got James Hickson, Vicente Guerrero. Unfortunately, they have lost the lead pack here. And a couple others we mentioned, Jim Brooks there in the 51. He's kind of off on his own. Same thing goes for the 37 of Keith Horner, the 18 of Cody Niegels. And we saw that pit penalty for Robert Dupont. The thing for Robert that he's got going for him right now is he's in this draft. And so right now, I believe he's the first car 1 lap down. So if there's a yellow, he would be in a good position. But so we're going to jump out front, though, because here comes Jack Walls. He's getting the push now from that 53 car. See if Jack can find his way back to the lead here.
Remember the 2 teammates pushing last week for the win? They are currently 55 and the 420 are right together.
Yeah, so yeah, Dean Wilkinson and Dave Thatcher, they found themselves back together again. And so they've also got, like we mentioned, also the 45 of Todd Siebel. So, and at this point, I feel like we've gotten pretty much too far in this race, really, Matt, for Dean to be able to try to clinch that bonus point for the most laps led. I think the way this race has unfolded thus far, if you're Gabe Butler, you're probably feeling pretty good, as I feel like he's led a lot of these laps thus far in this race. And you see at the line here, it's going to be a drag race between him and Jack Walls. I think Jack just had his nose ahead at the line there. But yeah, I feel like Gabe has done a great job of being in this lead pack here, leading this race, having this track position all race long. So I think he is doing everything to his abilities right now to kind of clinch that other bonus point for the most laps led, which again would then put that at basically at a 22-point deficit for the 55 car. So I see the Robert Dupont, he's dropping way down to the apron and almost backing it off here as well. Not sure what's going on here for the 07 car, but I say he's going to, looks like, stop here in 3. Let's see, I gotta be careful. That could have brought out a yellow. Looks like we're gonna stay green, luckily. But I said that's always a risky move there. So you never know how iRacing will call those. But right now, you see Jack Walls doing all he can here to try to see if he can hang on to the lead right now. And again, right there at the line, side by side with that 1 car. Couldn't tell between the 2 who had it at the line. But yeah, like I said, right now, still holding that 13 cars right now in this lead pack here, trying to battle out for this win.
I don't know. Usually the 55 will have to stay tight with the 45. Do you think the 55 is saving some fuel to the end, kind of shorten that stop?
I mean, it's a really good strategy. I mean, it wouldn't be a poor idea. So right now, actually, the furthest driver up who did the latest is Todd Siebels, but right behind him, Dean Wilkinson. However, those guys all running the top groove, so that's the only hesitation I have on that one. The other driver on the inside line, though, who is in a really good spot on that fuel saving, is that 78 of Donald Stewart. He's been pretty much running this inside groove for a good portion of this run here. So Donald could be in a position, like you said, to maybe take that slight little bit less fuel on his final stop. And that, again, could be enough to kind of leapfrog you to being the leader out of the pit road. I said that, I think that's going to be the crucial thing here, because we're not too far away from that window here. I think to play it safe, I think you'd see these drivers probably try to come in around, I would say probably around 20 to go or so. Right now we're on lap number 48, so I'd say 55-ish or so would be about the rough number. You see Quabi have to jump to the top. His car getting too hot now. But say, yeah, we talked about 1836 for the first group. So based on that, you would suspect you would see the last group in at lap 54, which would be basically about 21 to go if they split that run, if they split this continually evenly like they have been so far.
It'll be 24 laps on a tank.
I feel like 24 is a bit of a stretch. I think safely, I would say 22, 23. But I think you probably could do 24. But I think if you're leading that group, 24 might be a stretch. So I think if you're Gabe Butler, and the other thing you have to keep in mind too is, unlike the Indy Series, this thing does have that overtime potential. Their say Indy, of course, finishes right on that number, whether it's lap, if it's under green, under yellow, lap 75, that would be the end of this race. However, with these guys, if there's a caution on lap 74, we have up to 3 attempts to try to make it to the finish. So that really throws a wrench in the fuel strategy as well for these guys, where you kind of have to do that risk versus reward. Do you fill it to 75, or do you consider filling it to maybe being able to go to, let's say, 80 just in case of something happening at the end?
I probably will expect the 1, the 07, and the 87 in the next couple of laps.
Yeah, I mean, based on the numbers, let's say you would suspect we would see them pitting at lap number 54, which would be basically 21 to go. But again, I wonder maybe they try to stretch this run just that little extra if they can, just again to make sure that they cover themselves for that potential of that green-white checkered finish. So we'll have to wait and see. To say that's the thing, is that's where the strategy kind of comes out to play, because if you're the one car, you never want to have to pit. If there's a late yellow, you don't want to have to pit, lose all that track position, have to try to fight your way back up there. So it's going to be a lot of fun to see what that strategy is going to be between Gabe and Jack and Todd Siebels, Eric Laurie, Dean Wilkinson. There's a lot of potential here for how this one's going to shake out. So, but yeah, I think right now, again, you got to have friends on pit road. We know we're going to see those 3 cars on the inside road. They're going to pit all together, but then we have to figure out who's going to be pitting with one another on the rest of the group here. Do we see again a split strategy where maybe they all pit in 2 different groups, or do they maybe try to all pit in one giant group? That can always come into play. But right now, what's about to come into play though, Matt, is some lap traffic here. You've got 3 drivers here. It looks like they're all running the wall here, so I think that should be a non-issue. Looks like, I believe that's the 18 there. The 51 and Jim Brooks is in there as well. I'm trying to see. I think Keith Horner is the other in the 37 car. So these guys about to be put, I believe, 1 lap down. I'm just going to see if it's 1 or 2 here. So I think right now these drivers are all on the tail end. Yeah, right now these 3 are on the tail end and lead lap.
That'd be all right.
But this could get interesting though, Matt, because now this is going to put into that battle for that first driver 1 lap down right here, because whoever's the front of those, but as I say that though, look at this huge push by the 22 and the 45. You see Jack going to go straight to the inside. Like Todd Siebels didn't feel comfortable enough to drop to the inside yet, but he's going to actually get some great momentum here in this middle line, and I think he's going to be able to pick up Dean Wilkinson, and now he might charge this second group here.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping that Dean would latch onto his bumper, see if we can both get around Gabe Butler and take that lead away.
Yeah, so yeah, you see Jack able to get the lead back again in that 1 car. But again, pit stops looming here. Probably another 2-3 laps before we see the window officially open for these guys. But again, here's now going to be that battle for that lucky dog position, because you see right now you got Cody Niegels right now. Now it's Jim Brooks that's in that position. So these 3 might be fighting with one another to try to be that first car 1 down. Right now you see the 55 is able to kind of sneak his way to the front of those 3. So I say now, as I say that, Cody's able to kind of push his way back out up front. So this will be a fight within the fight, basically, in this race. So, but coming around the line here, Matt, we've got 23 to go. It'd be 22 at the line. Like I said, I think if they split this race evenly, it'd be next time around we would see the 071 and the 87 hit pit road. But again, I feel like they want to go a little further. If they can get to, I'd say 19, 20 to go, I think then you feel a little better about your situation.
Yeah, I totally agree. Well, I expect them to see him next time around. According to my numbers, I'm looking at the last bit of lap 36.
Yep. Yeah, so 36 for them, 37 for Jack Walls. You see they're coming up on the 21 car again. He's going to just jump straight to the top here. Yeah, that's the nice thing about Talladega. If you're not running 3 wide, that third line is definitely an easy way to try to get back in there. And I think you see the 21 maybe trying to help him out, get him built up to speed a little bit with the 37 car, I believe that was. Looks like trying to push on him a little bit. And yeah, so sure enough, here they go. They're going to go a little longer this time around, Matt. So you see, we talked about Gabe Butler. If they were going to split it like they did before, they would have come in this time by. But this time they're going to go a little further in this run. And I think that's to kind of just cover themselves in case of that potential green-white checkered finish. But right now, so now the next question you have, though, is if you're on that outside line, if you pit it on a little earlier, though, again, you start to get a little nervous here. You start thinking, okay, I got to find a way to get down. You start getting a little antsy, maybe start trying to find a gap or start pulling up on the chat to be like, hey, I need to get to the inside line here for a pit stop. But, I mean, it's hard to make gaps sometimes for these guys, so we'll have to wait and see. And it's like, yep, here they come. Yep, first set of drivers making their final stop of the race. It's going to be, again, the three of Gabe Butler, Eric Laurie, and Raymond Rittenauer. Looks like a nice, clean, calm entry for the three of them. Now, it's all about hitting that pit stall. But now back up front, though, look at here they come. Todd Siebels, Dean Wilkinson. They've now found their way to the front. And Dave Thatcher able just to squeeze in front of Eric Laurie there in that third spot as well. So I'll say that's going to be these guys. Now, again, we'll have to see when do they make this pit stop happen here, because they can go a little further should they choose to, or, again, do they decide to react to our top three?
I'm watching how the 55, 45, and 420, how they're reacting. And 55 is pushing the holy, you know what, out of the 45.
And I say here comes one. Okay, just one driver actually surprising. Joseph Morales, he's going to hit pit road. And I'm watching here as well as the three drivers that came out. This is not what they want here, Matt. Look how spread out the 1, the 87, and the 071 are. So that at this point, Gabe's going to have to roll back here to pick up Raymond and pick up Eric. So say they're going to lose a little bit of time here, probably at least a second, I would say, roughly, to get themselves all lined up. Because at this point, they want to be nose to tail, bumper to bumper. And you see, but here's the field coming, roaring up to the back of them. So this is a good opportunity for the rest of the field here to maybe try to capitalize on this slight mistake from these top three.
I know that feeling. The last time I ran here, I had a bunch of great pit stops, and yeah, a bunch of miscommunications, and you have too good of a stop, and yeah, it's a lonely feeling. And before you know it, here come the other teammates to come and push you.
Yeah, man. So it looks like pit stops. So far, so good. It's got a little tight between Michael and Quabi, but it looks like they'll make it in too. So it looks like about 5 on the lead lap. Then you also have a handful of drivers a lap or more down hitting pit road with them. So it's about 10 cars in all, Matt, which is now going to leave now 4 drivers yet to make their final pit stop. And the also thing we mentioned, remember the 60 of Joseph Morales? He came out there he came in on his own. He is out there by a pretty good margin here ahead of Gabe, Raymond, and Eric. So it just shows how good of a pit stop that 60 car had. Unfortunately for him, out on his own. So this is opportunity time for those guys that just pitted, which I believe the first of those is the I'm trying to find him here, Donald Stewart here with Jack Walls. I think this is their opportunity here to be able to try to get to the point in this race. But again, pit stop wise though, Todd Siebels, Dean Wilkinson, Dave Thatcher, and Paul Sheldon, they are run this run here. Looks like they're going to try to run this thing out as far as they can.
Man, I had expected 55 and the 45. This time around, I'm not sure if they're losing time or not, but
last time by they ran 50-55 with the 4 of them. But it's hard to compare that right now because you see, I mean, this whole field right now is this pit stop, it is really jumbled up the running order. You see Jack Walls right now kind of off on his own. Again, a great pit stop for him. But I believe one of the drivers that we just were talking about there, I think it was Donald Stewart. I think he may have had a moment on the pit exit because he is way off now from where he was. As here comes Todd Siebels, Dean Wilkinson, and we got Todd Siebels. He catches the inside wall there. Got a little bit too much rear brake. So that's going to give Todd a little bit of damage. Probably time to take that fast spread. Don't risk it here. Don't make matters any worse for yourself. That's going to cost him a little bit of time here. So say, like I said, this money stop's getting, definitely you can see it's starting to get hectic here. I think a lot of pressure starting to set in on these drivers.
And don't worry, Dean still had his teammate at the 420 right behind him, Dave Thatcher.
Oh, and Dave's still sitting
Oh
in
no,
pit
he's still
road.
Dean's still pitting road.
Yeah, this is a pit penalty. I think Dean must have got in too hot or something because he's already been on pit road 20 seconds. So now it's going to be Dave Thatcher. They'll be the first of those to come out. But again, all by himself here. And what's this is allowed though is you see here comes the 87 now and 071 on the inside line. You've got the 22 and the 53 on the outside. So you still got a good run here for the win right now. But it's going to be a what could have been here for these guys because you look at where Dave Thatcher is. I mean, he's got so much ground on these guys, but he's just got no help, Matt. And like we said, I mean, you know this, unfortunately, all too well. This is a really tough feeling because, let's say, at any other track than a restrictor plate race, you are thinking, oh, man, I am good. I broke the draft. We're good to go. But here you're like, I got no help. I'm a sitting duck.
What could have been if Dean would have not get that pit penalty?
Yeah, it looks like Todd Siebels as well. Both those drivers sitting for 47, 48 seconds. So if you're Gabe Butler, someone needs to make him aware of this. I mean, of course, you want to go for the win and try to win this championship. Of course, win the race as well. But I mean, he's got to think big picture here and not fight too hard and put himself in a bad situation here because we've only got 15 to go now, Matt. And now your two competitors for that title are on the tail end of the lead lap by about 40 seconds or so. And really not hooked up with one another as well. So it's a very good chance they might actually even get caught and lapped here. So right now as they run, though, we have, I believe, 8 cars in this lead battle for the win. Dave Thatcher being the last of those as he builds his speed back up. So right now, battle for the win, though, as it looks, you see on, of course, the ticker on the left, you got Gabe Butler, Raymond Rittenauer, Jack Walls, Eric Laurie, Charles Johnson, Joseph Morales, Quabi Brooks, and Dave Thatcher will be the 8 drivers here as things run. That'll be in a position to win this race tonight.
Wow, what a game changer!
Yeah, I mean that
one mistake,
and everybody, yeah, and it caught everybody. I mean, that was the thing, is there were little mistakes everywhere. I don't think anybody had like the clean pit stop with their teammates that they wanted to. The 87 and 071, they had clean pit stops, but they came out so spread out with one another that they had to lose a lot of time to get back settled in with each other. But then, yeah, of course, unfortunately, the pit mistakes for the pit penalties for Dean and Todd, that's put them out of the running here at this point. But again, though, they're on the lead lap. So, I mean, if there's a yellow, that could change everything. So, right now, if you're Gabe, again, I think you do everything you're doing. You do what you need to do, but you do not take any unnecessary risks. I think you run this bottom line. You run that yellow line. You got Raymond behind you. You got Eric behind you. And you just try to do what you can here to try to see if you can hold on to this this top group here. Because, again, even if you finish here, the last of this lead pack group, which would be 8th right now, you've easily got this title locked up. Of course, you want to win in style, but they got to be thinking big picture too.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. If somehow Jack Wallace was to get in front of the one car, I would probably, I don't know what I would do. I'd probably just hang it out there. That would just be my mental perspective, but as a title, going for the title, I probably drop to the back just to be safe.
Yeah, so there's definitely a lot of potentials of how you want to run this one. So we'll see what they do at this point. It's a non-issue though, because I mean he's doing everything he needs to do. Now he's got Raymond behind him, Eric right there as well. So again, I mean, if you want to be in a position you're in, this is exactly what you want to have. You want to have that yellow line protecting your inside line. You got teammates behind you that, again, we talked about how well they work with one another. And then so then it basically just forces everybody else to have to work that third line, or the second line, I should say, in the middle, which they've been able to get there. Occasionally they've been able to make a move, but haven't been able to really complete the job in the grand scheme of things. So also, lap time-wise, these guys running in the 50.4s. We're mentioning Todd Siebels, Dean Wilkinson right now 51.8, so about 1.4 seconds a lap slower. And they are only now, let's see, about 45 seconds out. So basically about 6 seconds away from being put a lap down. So honestly, probably about 3-4 more laps. Leader's going to be catching those two as well to put them down 1 lap. And again, the Lucky Dog battle right now, Jim Brooks is in that position. But I believe, yeah, Keith Harden, the 37 car, he is also right there trying to fight for that Lucky Dog position. So that's going to put 2 cars battling for that Lucky Dog to 4 cars once they catch those 2 as well.
Yeah, I know he's praying for a caution right about now, but my instinct is I think we're going to go caution free to the end of this race. the way the whole field is spread out right now.
I'll say we're running pretty well 2x2 here. So I'll say, but let's say we actually have to jump around a little bit because you see a little further back here. You've got Michael Spell. He's got Paul Sheldon with him, Donald Stewart there, and then the 18 of Cody Niegels here. So you just have those 4 together. They're all running single file right now. And then you've got Vicente Guerrero. Unfortunately, he's just kind of off on his own right now at the moment. Also still in the lead lap, but not too far from getting put that lap down. And then, like we mentioned, for Todd Siebels, Dean Wilkinson, just the 2 of them. But now they're down to about a 3-second gap over our race leaders. So, yeah, the field's really kind of spread out here, like I said. But say it's a lot of 2x2 or single file racing. So, you're not feeling too confident on getting that yellow with things kind of as they run. But as we know, as we start to get to crunch time, as we're at 10 to go now, but I think when we start getting about 4 or 5 to go, we're going to see business start to pick up, and that's where that potential is going to start rising dramatically.
I'm kind of interested what line they run when that traffic comes. You know you're fighting for the title. Would you pick the bottom? You know, I don't know. I don't want to go with that mentality.
No, I think they're already showing what they're going to do. They're going to stay, and it's just the respect that these guys have with one another. I mean, that's what we've seen all season long from Dean, from Todd, and from pretty much the rest of the field here. It looks like they're gonna give that third line, and then they're just gonna try to put themselves in that position in case something happens to be able to capitalize on it. Yeah, I mean, like you said though, Matt, I mean, of course they could try to just hold that yellow line and force the other groups to get around them the hard way. But that's the problem is, of course, you never want to burn too many bridges too early on, because you never know in the future season what could unfold if let's say that could then kind of bite you in the future, where it's like, well, yeah, I would have worked with you, but this happened, and so then it doesn't quite work out for you. So, but right now, though, I mean, we got 8 to go here. So, like I said, I think we're going to start seeing business pick up very shortly. Again, right now, let's say we still got 8 drivers here in the running for the win here tonight. And maybe we see, let's say they throw the championship stuff out the window. Maybe we see Dean Wilkinson. Maybe he tries to get up to Dave Thatcher. Maybe they try to hook up together. And they try to basically Dean returns the favor for Dave. Who knows? I mean, there's a lot of potential storylines in this one. You see the 55-45, they've gone back to the third line, but they got to be careful, because I saw Vicente Guerrero, he's in that third line, so they're going to need to probably roll out a little bit, duck back in line, and then make the charge once they get around that 14 car, which they've just done here. So with about, looks like coming to 7 to go, they'll have the 12 car here, not too far away of James Hickson, but I think that'll be about it. But yes, I think we're going to start to see that third line happen pretty soon here, Matt.
I like the way you think. I really want to see that the 55 help that 420 for a win. But you never know what could happen.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is there's a lot of potential storylines right now. You see right now you got Charles Johnson, Jack Walls. They're lined up together on the outside line. We know how well they work with one another. They're good friends. You got Joseph Morales is kind of in the middle of a bunch of guys here. I'm not sure if Joseph has any friends in this group or not, but you see, I mean, you got Quabi Brooks, Jim Brooks. We've seen them lock on together, get 1-2 finishes between them. Unfortunately for Jim at this point, he's a lap down, so he had to basically just be trying to help Quabi on this side of the thing. But you see, as Quabi's been kind of showing he wants to go to that third line, but he's just trying to get someone to go with him. He's going to start picking up a few people now. He's got Jim with him, but as soon as he was going to maybe do that, but then here's what we just mentioned that you see Dave Thatcher, he's got now Dean Wilkinson right behind him. Do we see that potential, kind of the payback of last week of Dave helping Dean to the win? Maybe we see Dean return the favor here tonight if they can get that third line, if they can clear that 53 here. As I say that though, here goes Joseph Morales. He's going to be the first one to try to jump that now to the top.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to work really well. He's got really no help.
I see also the 12 car there jump straight to the apron. So again, the respect for him. He saw a 3-wide battle going on. He decided to drop out of it. Cost him some track position, some momentum, but great respect there from the 12 of James Hickson. But we got 5 to go here at the line, Matt. And like I said, I think now it's about time where we're going to really start to see it kick off here. So we've seen the inside line. I don't think we're going to see anything change out of those guys. The question is, what does the middle line do? Do we see a third line start to form? Because I say right now it's about to be all to play for here, as we got 5 left here with 8 drivers vying for the win here tonight.
I think Charles is holding something back on pushing Jack off.
Charles has definitely not been pushing Jack right now. He's just been kind of holding him steady 2x2 here. And again, I mean, that's not a bad strategy. You want to keep those temperatures good until it's really time to start shoving. And that's, of course, then we'll probably start to see Raymond and Eric kind of react to that. And okay, they're pushing. We got to start pushing ourselves. So there's a lot of strategy that's going to unfold in this one. But here goes Dave Thatcher, though. He's found his way to the top. He's got Dean Wilkinson with him. Charles Johnson's thinking about it. He stays with Jack Wallace. The outside line is going to pick up that 60, though, of Joseph Morales. So now here it goes. Now we finally starting to see that third line form like we talked about. Now the question is, do they have enough with the two of them to be able to make this happen?
He needs Joseph to get on his bumper. He needs 3 cars for it to make that work.
Yeah, I mean, they're making ground here. You see they've gotten up to the 9 of Charles Johnson here. But like you said, Matt, they need a third driver, and they need to be close. Oh, Quabi almost makes contact with Dean there. It looked like Dean had to move up to react. You see that's cost them a lot of momentum here, so now that's going to open an opportunity for someone else if they want to try to hop to that third line. Right now, Charles is staying pretty committed here with Jack here on the inside, on the middle line, I should say. But you can see everybody starting to get a little bit more wiggly, man. I think it's starting to set in that we've got 3 to go here, and big wiggler from Charles Johnson. I think Quabi gave him a bit too big of a push there. That's going to slow again that middle line down. As you see, Charles has a little bit of a blink as well. You see everybody starting to get a little bit dicier here as they're coming now. We got 2.5 laps left in this one.
I really didn't want to say wreck. I want to see how this one plays out.
Now this could be a really good finish, like you said, but outside line, it needs more help right now. That 60, like you said, he's got to get closer to him. But right now it's just very difficult right now. And yeah, so I say we still got a little bit of time left right now. But right now the inside line's looking pretty solid here. Let's say we're getting some insider info from Kevin that the track temp is pretty high. It's making the outside very difficult, so that might be why we've seen these guys hold the bottom as hard as they have as we cross line 2 to go here.
Track temp 90 degrees. Yeah, I can see that.
Charles just about drifted up into Dean there. I think Dean had to push up just a little bit to avoid the contact. But these guys are not giving anything up right now. But you're about to get to that point where at this point you're just going to push for all you're worth. And say if your motor lasts, your motor lasts. If not, you gave it your all. But I say basically the way it's going to go down, Matt. I say if they can get to that white flag from then on, it's just you race. The first one to the flag wins the race. However, if we see a caution as Quabi gets really close to Dave there, if there's a caution, we would have those 3 attempts of a green light checkered. Right now, it's looking like we'll make it. But again, Talladega, you got to get all the way through the trial here, but it looks like they will get it done. So we've got 1 to go here at Talladega. Right now, it's Gabe Butler and Jack Walls battling it out here for the win.
If I was charged, I would stay glued to that 22's bumper and just, who cares if it blows up? Just go for it.
No, at this point you lock on and you just push until you can't push anymore. So, and I think that's what we're seeing right now from that 55.
Look at the third line.
Yeah, Dave Thatcher, a big push there from the 55, Dean Wilkinson. Do they have enough to keep that momentum up, though? So he's got just a nose ahead here through 3. But Dave's got to stay, or I should say Dean's got to stay right on Dave, and it is going to be dicey. Oh, you see Dean pushes up just a little bit off of 4. They're starting to squeeze each other. It's getting dicey now. So as they come through the travel for the final time, everybody's wiggling. It's going to be, I believe, Gabe Butler by thousandths of a second over Jack Walls. I say Raymond Rittenauer are going to beat Charles Johnson by thousandths of a second for 3rd. Dave Thatcher, a great push there by that 55 car. He's going to grab the 5th position. But yeah, Gabe Butler, though, he's going to win the season championship in style tonight in that number 1 machine. Got it done, was able to control this race. But what a finish, though, at the end there, Matt. We saw 3 wide. They were squeezing each other, doing everything they could. But like we said, they kept it clean. And I'll say that was just a great finish there. So I'll say, well, let's go back and watch that finish there, and we'll see how close that really was. Because I don't know how close that was between Jack and Gabe there. But that was definitely a squeeze there for the win.
Hats off to everybody, all the drivers out there. That was an epic finish. That was just clean and green.
Yeah, it's about the best you could have hoped for there. So there's a lot on the line there, but everybody did exactly what they needed to. So I'll say we're going to run this thing slow-mo coming to the line. You see Charles pushing Jack for all he is worth. Raymond pushing as well. And I'll say we'll try to see if I can stop it right on the line. And yeah, you can see right there, Gabe Butler by just a nose pretty much over that over Jack Walls there. And then you see right behind him as well, Raymond Rittenauer and Charles Johnson right on top of each other. But man, just what a finish by those guys. Really exciting finish. So we got to talk to some drivers here. Before we do that, actually, we'll pull up our final results of the race. It's going to be Gabe Butler winning by 7 thousandths of a second over Jack Walls. Raymond Rittenauer getting third by 4 thousandths of a second over Charles Johnson. We mentioned Dave Thatcher there in fifth. You got Eric Laurie, Quabi Brooks, Joseph Morales, Paul Sheldon, and Michael Spell rounding our top 10. And then Donald Stewart and Dean Wilkinson in 11th and 12th. And then these drivers you see a lap or more down. You got Jim Brooks, Keith Horner, Vicente Guerrero, Todd Siebels, Cody Niegels, and Tom Pritchard. And the remainder here, you've got James Hickson, Michael Taylor retiring early, as well as Robert DuPont and Rob Malone. Like I said, at the end of the day, though, Gabe's able to win this one in style. Wins 3 of the 4 championship races. Just an outright, just awesome job by that one machine. But like you said, Matt, what a finish, though.
Yeah, 3 wide without hitting it to knock anybody out and having it clean to the end. Yeah, that was a great job by everybody.
Yes, and I one of my things I get to play with to see kind of what's happening where. There were lead changes during that lap, Matt. So I was looking at it here. At one point, Dave Thatcher was ahead of Gabe Butler. Then Gabe was able to get it back. We saw changes between Gabe and Jack and Dave, and so at different points in that lap there were different drivers in the lead there for the win. So just shout out to all those guys. That was a lot of fun to watch. But we got to grab some drivers. We're going to start off with Raymond Rittenauer here. Let me hunt Raymond on over here. Oops. All right, going to drag you on over here. Ray gets the third place here. 4 thousandths of a second between you and Charles there for that third spot. But man, I mean, we saw that you and Gabe and Eric, you guys worked really well together in the pit road. Unfortunately, that last pit stop, it was a great entry. Everybody got it nice and clean, but you guys just looked like this. You guys are just a little bit too far spread out with one another on the exit. Obviously, in the end worked out okay because whatever it was. I mean, did you guys feel like there was like maybe extra pressure, kind of maybe ramped up just a little bit on that final stop because we saw a lot of mistakes on that final pit stop. I mean, what was going through your guys' mind as you're kind of getting to that money stop and knowing how much there was on the line, especially for your teammate, of course, with Gabe?
Yeah, I don't know about if we were really thinking about the pressure at the moment there, but we got in good each pit stop. I'm not sure what happened at the end there. We got a little split up, but we got back together there and still maintained the front.
Yeah, I mean, and that was the thing is we saw you guys you saw you ducking. You basically it was 18:36, and it's okay if they kind of continue with that streak, it's going to be 54. But of course that puts you at 21 to the end. So was it basically just trying to go a little bit off sequence for everybody else, and of course on that final stop, give yourself a little bit of margin to cover, just in case that green went checkered to avoid having to take that splash at the very end?
Yeah, I think we went an extra lap on that last one. I'm not sure, just to get it closer to 9 gallons in case there was a caution for a green white at the end there. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'd say you guys did a great job. I'd say it was pretty much, like I said, it was pretty much between you and Eric to try to help your teammate there, Gabe, to get the title. Obviously, we always talk about the unselfishness of you guys, and I mean, that's what we saw against tonight. At first, it was Eric that was pretty much just shoving Gabe the whole way around, and then that, like I said, that final pit stop, then you kind of got put in that role and were able to make some big pushes there to keep that track position on the inside line. So, awesome job tonight, Ray. Definitely want to give you the floor. Any thanks and shouts you'd like to give for your third place tonight?
Yeah, I'd like to thank my sponsor, Don't Boot Me, Georgia Boot. They come along here in the past couple races. They saw an opportunity, so put them on the car. I thank you guys for putting on a good broadcast all year. It's fun watching it. And Gabe, hell of a job on the championship.
Nah, say it was a pleasure watching you guys do what you do best. So, enjoy this one, Ray. I know, a long season there, but we'll see what's next for all the stuff. I know there's some changes in the future for various series and all that with Area 51. Which, have been announced here on Discord, I think, also on Facebook as well, so check those out. But yeah, just awesome job though tonight, Ray. I say I'm sure you're gonna we'll be chatting with your, I'm sure, very thankful teammate here pretty shortly.
All right, thank you.
Good job, Raymond. Good job.
Thanks.
All right, now we got to switch around to our second place finisher, and I believe the difference was 0.06 of a second on this one, Matt, with that number 22 of Jack Walls. Say, Jack, your number got stolen tonight, but you still had that bright yellow Pennzoil car, and you definitely were working it to the front tonight. I mean, just take us through the race and say, I mean, that was a great push between you and Charles Earth, and then try to make that middle line happen. Just barely short there, but I'm sure that was a lot of fun to be able to battle out for the win like you did there tonight.
Yeah, I guess 22 is my lucky number. I came in second. Maybe next time I'll have the 11 car come in first. But yeah, somebody stole my number. I don't know how that happened, but I guess it was good for me though. But no, pretty uneventful race. I just had a lot of good pushing behind me there at the end with Charles, and Michael Spell was pushing me there earlier. Koabe was pushing me, so they kept me up front, and that's what kept me close to winning this.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Jack. Is there any thought that you were communicating with Charles to hopefully stick to your rear bumper? And I wouldn't care if Charles will. I would love to see you get a win. That would be just epic. Any train of thought of that?
No, we weren't really communicating. He's a teammate, so he stuck behind me, and he really didn't have a chance to go to the outside, I don't think, because there was a car in the high line there. But maybe if that was open, he might have went over there to try to go for the win himself. And on those last couple laps, I wanted to make sure I wasn't going to get into Gabe and be the one to take him out. So I was trying to give him some extra room. But coming out of that tri-oval, if I had stayed closer to him, I might have got the win out of that. But I don't want to take any chances of knocking him out.
No, you're doing just great there, Jack. I was rooting you on, same as the 420.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot of fun watching it there, Jack. Yeah, so if you're interested in that 11 and that number 11, you're talking to the right guy, because Matt Wagner runs that 11 car on the Tuesday nights for the Indy cars. So maybe see if you can maybe do some number leasing on the other series here. Maybe that'll be the lucky number for you tonight.
Hey, that sounds like a good idea.
I think I'm gonna actually run this series next season. I can't wait to race with these guys.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to next season. This was a great season. I mean, I've been in several leagues over the years, and I mean, you can't count how many number of races we've gone without a caution. It's just unbelievable how these guys race. They race with respect. It's very nice.
Yeah, you guys definitely been putting on a great show all season long. But Jack, before we let you go, before we get into that kind of the season break, before we get to that next season coming up here soon, definitely got to give you the floor here, though. Any thanks and chats you'd like to give for that run tonight?
Yeah, I'd like to thank my teammates, Charles Johnson, Koabe Brooks was in there, Michael Spell, Jim Brooks, Dean Wilkinson, I guess Todd. I hope I didn't forget anybody there, but thanks to all those guys are pitting together, helped us get a top two finish there. So thanks to all them guys, and of course thanks to you guys for the broadcast. I haven't missed one yet. I always watch your broadcast, even when I'm not in a race. They're very fun to watch.
Yes, I definitely appreciate your support, Jack. Yeah, it's always fun but bittersweet to see when you're kind of commenting on YouTube high from whatever city and state you're in at that time. But yeah, it's good to see you on track here tonight, though, and great job this evening with that second place finish.
Very good. Thank you very much. You guys take care.
All right, Jack, have a great night, buddy.
All right, that leaves us one driver left to chat with. That's going to be our race winner / champion here tonight, and that number 1 of Gabe Butler. So we're going to drag Gabe on in. And man, Gabe, you had me nervous a few times because, like, all right, he's going to get the lap lead. Maybe he'll roll to the back. And stayed up front, controlled the race, made some big moves when you had the run where maybe you see someone will get in front of you and then you get that momentum. You jump to that middle groove and clear him basically in one straightaway. I mean, I say it looked like you're pretty much a man on the mission tonight to put basically no question to doubt on the point side of things and just get that win. Basically full merit, and as of course able to do so, winning in style with the win tonight as well. I mean, just take us through your race, and I say obviously we chatted a little bit pre-race about kind of what the mindset might be going into tonight, but I mean, yeah, just great job tonight, great job all season long, of course, as well. But yeah, I mean, take us through your race tonight.
I appreciate it. Yeah, we were going to start at. I was going to start out kind of cautious and kind of, just get a feel for what way the race was going to go. And I thought about maybe, staying behind Dean or close to Dean and Todd and just take it from there. But as the race kind of went along and developed, we figured it might be better just trying to stay up front or close to it. And we did, and had some great work from Eric and Ray tonight, especially Ray there at the end. We had some good pit stops. We stuck to our pit stop strategy, and it worked out.
Gabe, this is Matt. How does it feel to win 3 out of the 4 races? That is just impressive.
It feels awesome, but it's really all down to your teammates. We all help and push each other when we can, and they've just done a fantastic job. And it doesn't matter how bad it's going for them, they'll still do what they can to help their teammate, it's an awesome team to be in.
I have one last question for you. During that last pit stop, y'all got separated pretty hard. How nervous were you knowing that the 55 and the 45 and the 420 still had the pit?
Wasn't really that nervous. I kept going, and Ray was backing up to Eric to pick him up, and so I knew they'd catch me in no time, and really wasn't that worried about it. And then I guess Dean and Todd must have had an issue on the pits, because all of a sudden they were a lap down. I'm like, whoa. So once that was done, it was just a matter of staying clean, and Jack was racing me pretty hard there in the outside, and we were able to nip him at the end.
Yeah, it was like you said, I say that last pit stop definitely caught a lot of drivers out there, but like I say, able to get the win, get the championship tonight, Gabe. So I'd say just awesome job. I'd say like Matt said, I mean, 3 of the 4 wins in the playoffs. That's really an impressive feat to be able to do with some of the competition you guys have to face week in and week out. So before we let you go, though, I say we definitely want to give you the floor here. Any thanks and shouts I'd like to give for the win tonight, and of course your championship this season.
Shout out to Area 51 for putting on the league, yourself for doing a fantastic broadcast, probably one of the best in the business out there, and last but not least, my teammates. I just can't say enough about these guys, every single one of them. We had some of them couldn't make it tonight, obviously for different reasons, but we had Eric and Ray in there doing a masterful job, and Kevin Freeze spotting for us and keeping us apprised of what was going on. So again, it's not me, it's my team. I'd be absolutely nothing without my teammates, and I truly appreciate them. Love racing with those guys, and just absolutely thrilled that I won it for them.
Yeah, well earned, well deserved win tonight, Gabe, with that championship as well. So I say enjoy it. I know you will. I say don't enjoy it too much though, because it's obviously got a couple weeks off here, and then we'll see what next season's got in store for us all. But yeah, say great job tonight. Like I said, you and your teammates, I mean, you guys have been just top notch all season long. I say you've definitely been raising the bar for all these other guys throughout Area 51. So yeah, well earned, well deserved. It was a lot of fun to see you guys, to see what you guys were able to do tonight. So yeah, say enjoy this one, and congrats on being our season champion.
Thanks, guys. We had a lot of motivation this year, so appreciate it.
Congratulations again.
Thanks, Matt.
All right, Matt, that is our season champion in that number 1 of Gabe Butler. Say watching him here on kind of stopped at the start finish, or near the start finish line, I should say. But yeah, I mean, I think this race just kind of showed the season that it's kind of an epitome of the season again. I'll say these guys caution free yet again, but great racing at the end. 6,000ths of a difference between first and second, 4,000 between third and fourth. I mean, these guys have just been doing an awesome job all season long, and as they able to cap it off with another great performance here tonight.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of mistakes, and I'm sure Dean's probably kicking himself right now. I'm guessing it's a pit road speeding penalty. That's the only thing I can think of. They would have came out in front of Gabe Butler and Raymond Rittenauer there. I'm just curious if how the race would have been played out if they didn't speed.
Yeah, it would have been very interesting to see if anything changed with them not speeding or anything like that. But I think the points difference though is still gonna be too great. I mean, it could have been a different winner, but I think when it's all said and done, it would have still been that number one car getting that championship here tonight, like he did. So, but yeah, just hats off to him and the entire team. They, like I said, they've done an awesome job just all season long. And so I also need to give a shout out to our the clean driver of the season, and I believe that's gonna go to indeed Dean Wilkinson, who didn't get the championship, but it's gonna get some more money in his pocket though as well, with him getting that least incident points, which I believe was a total of 28 over the course of the 12 races. Was 4 ahead of Todd going into it, stayed 4 ahead, and then 8 ahead of Gabe, also stayed at 8. So hats off to all those guys. Basically, literally averaging 0.03 incidents per lap. Yeah,
that's pretty impressive.
It really is. So as you see the one here celebrating on the front stretch at Talladega, Matt, thank you so much for jumping in on this one here. These last couple of races with Dale having to move and do some house hunting. It's been a lot of fun having you in the booth. And I say it'll be a lot of fun to see you racing on the Sundays. I say hopefully I can sneak in some of those ones as well, because there is going to be some changes on the broadcast side of things as well. I say it won't be Green White Checker TV on Sunday nights. I believe it's going to be Max Speed TV. So definitely take a look and keep an eye out for that. So I say that's going to definitely change a lot of be a little bit of change, but I think it's going to be great as well for the league. Get some new names and new faces to help out. So they frees me up a little bit too. So unfortunately, real life always gets in the way a little bit from here to there. So. But as always, though, I thank you so much for everybody supporting us here at Green White Checker TV. I've got such a great group with you, Matt, with Steve. I've had Dale with Brandon. I mean, Maxwell. It's been such a great group of guys to be able to work with, and look forward to continuing on as far as I can.
Yeah, we still catch you on Tuesdays.
Yep, Tuesday, Thursday, I'm not going anywhere, so you'll still have us at Area 51 on Green White Checker TV over there. And then I believe Sundays and Mondays, though, will be, like I said, on Max Speed TV. So it's like keep an eye out, Facebook, Discord. There'll be some info there. Looking forward to seeing that as well. So until then, I hope you all enjoyed the season and the race tonight. It's been a blast being able to do the broadcast for all of you. Like I said, selfishly, looking forward to a little bit of a break, but looking forward to next season here in just a few more weeks. So until then, hope you all have a wonderful evening. And I say for those that have Monday off, enjoy have a happy Labor Day.
Good night, everybody.